Tanisha Cottrell, and welcome to First Love Yourself, where love, life, and Christ combine. I am so grateful to have you here on this journey of self-discovery and empowerment with me. In today's video, we are going to talk about girl. You worrying about this is not going to fix yours. So if you want to listen to more, get comfortable because we are about to get to it. Let's go. So earlier today, we've been doing this whole healing journey thing for the month of January, trying to figure out how exactly you're going to get healed. Because I feel like when you starting off the beginning of the year, you go strong. But when you got a community behind you, you can go the full year. You can go for life. And so what I want to do is create a space where we can heal together, where you could use these tips, these tricks, help your friends, help your families, share it with somebody else that you know is like really struggling with moving on or whatever else, and it will give them the encouragement to keep pushing forward because they'll know that they're not alone. So here are a couple things. I have 4 tips that will help you if he moved on first. Like, oof. I'm going to try not to go too deep, too rough with y'all. I'm going to try to make sure that I'm like being like really considerate and we're going to take our time going through this, okay? So I have my notes here. So that's why you see me looking over, just to make sure we stay on course, because I don't want to take up all your time. I want to make sure you get this juice. So the first thing, do not go to the tough friend that's giving you tough love. Don't go to that person that's going to be like, yeah, girl, yeah, have you seen the new girlfriend that he's with? She look good. Oh my gosh. Have you seen, oh, he looking even better since y'all broke, like, oh yeah, you really messed that one up. You don't need to go to the friend that's going to make you feel like crap. You go to God first, of course, because he says, cast your cares on God because he cares for you. And he says that the burden is light. Okay? So when you go to God, you take your yoke upon his yoke upon you, and it will help you with everything that you're struggling with all the burdens that you have. So you won't feel like I gotta carry this by myself. And we're not gonna point the finger and say you chose to be with him or whatever else. Listen, we're talking about healing after you've already made this decision. This is not about you finding the person that's going to make you feel the crappiest in this moment to try to move on, because all that's going to make you do is like want to go to the page to go look at the other person. All that's going to do is make you feel worse about yourself, and then your standards will be lowered because you'll put up with stuff that you know you shouldn't put up with. You have to really know who you can lean on in this moment. And it may look like a family member or friend that's older that's not going to give you like super tough love right out the bat. Unless you're the type of person who wants to hear it straight so that you can get an idea of what it is that you need to do to move forward because you're just used to it. But if you're the type of person who's in a vulnerable state, do not go to the person who's going to make you feel like trash. Go to someone who is going to be really understanding, really put themselves in your situation of feeling that heartbreak. Because when you actually feel a heartbreak, it's not a good feeling. When you are on the outside looking in, you're like, ugh, well, obviously I would have done this, I would have done that. You hear all these shoulda, coulda, wouldas over there on the corner from the crew, the crowd in the background that is not in this relationship in love with this man or in love with this woman. And the whole time you're like, okay, that's great advice, but it's not warranted. It's not something that's helpful in this situation. Like right now, it's not helping nobody. So you have to know who to go to in this moment so that you can heal the proper way. Because what you don't want to do is set yourself back by having them talk about all these great things about this person or talk about all the bad things. That's even worse. You're like, and then you get into this whole thing where you see groups of people talking about, yeah, he wasn't nothing anyways. Like, or she wasn't all that anyway. It's like, I understand people do that to try to make you feel better. But for me, I don't know if you're like me or if you're a little different, but for me, when people would talk trash about the person that I was with, it would make me feel more foolish. It didn't make me feel like, oh yeah, it's all their fault. It made me feel like, dang, like I feel super foolish in this moment for even being with that person if they were that bad. And usually when we choose someone, we're not choosing someone for their horrible characteristic traits. We're choosing them because in our mind, we saw them as a better person. We had an idea of the person that we wanted them to be, not the person that other people saw them as. We had a soft spot for that person. We could see their potential. We really were thinking that they were better than the person that they showed up as. We thought that they could be this person, but maybe that's who they are. But this is where being realistic comes in. We have to stop placing our thoughts, our ideas on another person. We have to let them be who they are, and then we can decide whether that is we're okay with that or we're not okay with that. The next thing we're gonna do, and I'm reading it right off the paper, and the light is like so bright. That's why you can see me like taking a moment. So be patient with me. Do not beat yourself up. Oof, I said it a little bit in the beginning. That's step 2. Do not beat yourself up. In this moment, you're going to feel like, why did I stay too long? Why did I put up with this? Why was I with them in the first place? Why? Like, you got all of these things that you're saying about yourself. Like, you just feeling like the worst of the worst of the worst, like the biggest fool in the world. Like, you are really feeling like horrible. And that is not the place that you want to go. You want to start with forgiving yourself. Acknowledge that yes, you may have stayed too long. Yes, you put up with this, or you put up with that, or you may have let something slide in the beginning, and so that was a trickle down effect, and in turn led to other disrespectful things or something like that. But you have to acknowledge, yes, I made a mistake, or yes, I chose this person, but I had no idea what I know now. Like, I chose that person because I was really trying to give them the benefit of the doubt, which is really not the benefit of the doubt. Like, when people show you who they are, believe them. Don't expect them to be somebody else because in your mind you want them to be somebody else. Let them be who they are. And then you can, based on their characteristic traits, based on their core, based on their who they are, you can decide, okay, this is not the person for me. You could really say, and when you go into this beat yourself up stage, it really just leads downhill. There's nothing beneficial about you beating yourself up. I know you're thinking, well, I just felt so bad about this. I did this wrong. And I was so guilty for this. I still have to catch myself when it comes to finances, when it comes to different things like that now, to this day. I still have to go to God and be like, God, I'm really tripping in this moment. Help me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really got to ask for God's help because I can't do it on my own. And honestly, none of us can do it on our own. I know we feel like I can do bad all by myself. I'm self-made, but no, we're God made. We really need each other. Like, we are so much stronger together than we are apart. And when you're beating up yourself, you're not helping anybody. You are not helping yourself. You're not helping your nieces, your nephews, your sons, your daughters. Like, anybody, nobody in your family, none of your friends are benefiting from you being in a saddened state. It's really going to decrease your life expectancy because it's not helping your heart. You have to continuously build yourself up, speak a life into yourself, talk about all the great things that you are. Know that how to love yourself. Like, really start to say, you know what? I really love that I can be goofy sometimes and it makes me crack up laughing at myself. Like, that is just like the funniest thing ever. Like, dad jokes, ooh, they are so funny. They make me laugh so hard because they're so cheesy that it's just hilarious, right? Or, I used to love cartwheeling or dancing as a kid, and I'm just gonna go back to dancing. Like, just bust the move, bust the move, and I promise you're gonna crack up laughing at yourself. It's gonna be hard to think about how negative you feel when you feel in a vibe. You know what I'm saying? And so you gotta really start to speak life over yourself and feel that positivity. The next thing we're going to do, and I'm telling you, I wrote this small because I was like, oh yeah, I could say this. And then I didn't think about the lighting and all the things. So bear with me. The next thing is don't keep them unblocked on your phone. One of the things that I heard when I was trying to move on, when I was trying to heal back in the day, was people would be like, "Oh, that's rude. Don't unblock people. Like, don't block people. That's just rude. That's you being harsh and nasty towards someone else." But let me tell you something. When you keep someone unblocked that you're trying to heal from, it gives them an opportunity to reach back out to you. And if you're not strong enough, you have to block them for your own mental health. It is not about being rude. It's not about being nasty. It's not about mistreating or making someone else feel like a piece of trash. It is about you protecting your own sanity. Your mental health is the most important thing, period. People say what they want. They can say what they want. They can act how they want. They can think whatever they want. But the most important thing is your health. If you are willing to sabotage your health just to make somebody else feel better about being unblocked, that is not healthy for you. You have to really know, like, I had this, I don't know if I could tell this story, but there was a situation, and I can't remember what exactly the whole scenario. I'm gonna paraphrase this whole thing, but there was this instance where this person did something, and it was like, oh no, like I personally was like, no, that's a no, that's a no, no, no. Like, obviously, I have to protect myself, so I'm gonna do this, this, and this. And the person was like, well, that's that's not like a real nice thing to do, but a nicety and self respect is not the same thing. You could be nice to someone while still saying no. You don't have to say yes to everything to be a nice person. Boundaries are what protect you, and Jesus even had boundaries. So if Jesus had boundaries and God put boundaries in place, like the water in the land, why do you think that it's not okay for you to have boundaries and still be a nice person, still lead with love? You could do that. You don't have to be nasty to do it. But and also, it's important for you to understand that it's for your own protection. It's not for you to hurt someone else. Do it with the right heart posture, with the purest of intentions, and you'll be in the right place. The last thing, and again, bear with me with this list because woo, the light is bright, is don't keep looking on their social media. I know you want to like see because you like missing them and you can't talk to them and you like, oh, I just want to look at their social media page to see what they're up to because you just, for some reason, the adversary, call it what you want, is in your head like, oh, but I bet they're moving on. I bet they're happy and healthy. I bet they got a great life. I bet they, and it doesn't really matter what they do. I was gonna say this. I don't want to hurt you, but mind your business, right? So I had to say it quick. Then maybe it's like a band-aid, rip off quick, right? But when I say that, I don't mean it like I'm trying to be rude, like mind your business. I'm saying it like when you're going through something in life, the worst thing that you could do is keep on showing yourself the things that you have no control over. If you are trying to really truly heal, if you really truly want to be the best version of yourself, you cannot keep focusing on what the other person is doing. A lot of the times, like other people, and this is one thing I respect about guys so much. They spend a lot of time focusing on themselves. So when a breakup happens, most of the time they move on so quickly because they've still been in communication with their friends. They haven't just like stopped talking to their friends to be with the person. They still have their activities or basketball that they go play all the time. While you quit doing dance because you wanted to have your weekends free for in case y'all go on a date or something. Like when you start doing those things, it pulls away from you. So the best thing that you could do is not look on their social media. Block the social media. Stop going on their pages. Don't go on Instagram, no TikTok, no YouTube, no Facebook. Don't look at any of the pages. Don't look at the girl's page that they're with either. I don't know why that came to my mind, but do not look at the girl's page either. Doesn't matter what she looks like, and doesn't matter what you think that you look better than this girl. Like, comparison is the thief of joy. The only reason why that thought is in your head to check out what someone else is doing is because it wants you to feel like you're inadequate. And you are not. You are adequate and fearless. You are amazing. But when you start to look at other people, you forget how amazing you are. That's why it's so important to just focus on yourself. That's why it's so important to pour into yourself, to know the things that you love, to do the things that you love to do, to really build yourself up. Start speaking life into yourself. Start saying all the things that you knew that you were before you were heartbroken. Start to really think about all the things that you want to become in life. Like, think about your future. Think about the type of future you want your kids, your nieces, your nephews, people around you to have, and what they want to experience when they're around you. You want to be a joy in the room and a light. You don't want to be something that pulls all the light and the source out of the room like a black hole. You want to make sure that you are the best version of yourself. And you do that by focusing on yourself. You do that by loving yourself. And it's not going to be easy, but we're here with you. Everybody in this community, on this page, on Facebook, on YouTube, everybody that's been in the same situation as you. Everybody has been through some kind of heartbreak. You are not alone. And I know it hurts, it stings. I know you want to jump into another relationship. I know you want to go and just prove a point. Like, see, all these guys want me. There's going to be several men that want you, ladies. There's going to be several women that want you, men. It's not about that. It's about you loving yourself. Because if you don't know your value, if you don't know how much you're worth without another person, every single person that leaves you or tells you something bad about yourself is going to be your baseline for who you think you are. And you want the Bible to be the baseline for who you think you are. You want what God says about you to be the baseline for who you are, not other people's opinions, because everybody's opinion is going to change. You have to know that you are enough with or without a person. And I'm not saying that like, oh, you could do bad all by yourself. No, you could do better by yourself, first off. And secondly, you are amazing. I don't think you understand that it's not about doing bad all by yourself. It's not about downing the other person. It's about knowing who you are. It's about understanding that regardless of what they're doing, it has nothing to do with you. That's not your duty, your job, or your responsibility. Your responsibility is to yourself. I was talking to this person earlier today, and I've said this before in a past video, but your relationship with yourself is the longest relationship you will have in life. So if you don't know what you like, what you don't like, what you love about yourself, then it's going to be hard to convince somebody else. People will see how you want to be treated by how you treat yourself. So love yourself and know that God got your back. God, if you trust in God, you focus on Him first. He got you, and you got this. And remember to love yourself. Bye.